Ambry Thomas, third round pick, was on IR all season. They waived him yesterday. He's we'll see if he clears waivers, but his time as a 49er is over. How do you feel about the end of the Ambry Thomas era?
I don't know, man. It definitely had its ups and downs. I mean, in the beginning, when Ambry Thomas first got here, he was kind of thrusted onto the scene on a very good defense. In many ways being asked to do more than what he should have been doing early in his career. And he struggled. But it seemed as though that he was kind of gaining his stripes, kind of earning his stripes with trial by fire. One of the biggest things about Ambry Thomas is that it's not for nothing. He was never a bad corner, but he just had certain things about his game that we wanted to see more of. You know, always in phase, not being able to high point the ball, never turning his head around at the last moments. But definitely somebody who we also have equity in. The last thing, I don't want to step on this because I know this is a big point that you had actually pointed out to me.
Go for it.
But you know, is this another Sammy Womack situation where we're letting go of a corner who we have equity in, where we don't necessarily see a path for them, and we just pull the trigger where we don't really need to? We can still let him stay, and then he goes somewhere else and finds worth and actually gets a role, and we're sitting here with egg on our face. So I hope that's not the situation. I really do. But, you know, Ambry was a good player for what he's worth, but it's sad to see him go.
Yeah, he's 25 years old. He played a little too soon, and it's like the Niners don't have a good track record of – they don't have a great track record with corners. I mean, in the sense that they've waived good ones. They waived Samuel Womack. He's a good number 3 corner for the Colts right now. They waived DJ Reed once upon a time. He's been one of the better starting corners in the league the last 3-4 years for the Jets. You have Rock Ya-Sin on your team. He'll be gone, but like – are you sure that Darrell Luter Jr. What has Darrell Luter Jr. done since he's entered the league that makes you feel he's better than Ambry Thomas, who admittedly is awful in practice? You've seen it. I've seen it. He makes no plays and gives up all the catches. But in games, he has made some plays. I mean, when he was a rookie, week 18, he made that interception in overtime on Matthew Stafford. He high-pointed it. It was down the field. It was a great play. It put him into the playoffs. If I were another team, I'd at least bring him into camp.
I mean, you're digging in the crates right now. You going back into his career.
That was his one play.
Yeah, that's what I said. You dug in the crates for that one.
Didn't he intercept Geno last year in Seattle on a pass that was intended for
DK Metcalf?
I think it was DK.
Yeah. I mean, look, he's had bright spots. He's a good player, but also, you know, NFL stands for not for long, Grant. And one thing that we do know is that there are some young corners that are stepping up in our roster. So it's not necessarily Isaac Yiadom. We get that. It's not a Rock Ya-Sin situation, but I look at it as a Renardo Green, right? And Lenoir, right? And Diamador Lenoir, right? And moving forward, we're probably going to find, if you know, and they've got to be feeling themselves. I mean, Renardo Green was a find if you think about it, right? Yeah. Pick a nice guy that you get out from Florida State, strong nickel guys, played outside, definitely shown a lot of confidence, big hitter, physical, you know, and that kind of makes you look at Ambry and say, well, look, you've been here, what is this, his 4th year in the league? You know, it's like, dude, you've been here 4 years. You know, your ceiling is pretty much what it is, right? And right now, for you coming off of an injury, we got to make some serious decisions to move on. So, and for what it's worth, you could look at that, you know, one of our best units thus far in a pretty much dumpster fire of a season has been our secondary. Our secondary has actually been one of our better units this year.
No doubt. All I want to say is next year, if Yiadom's gone and Ya-Sin is gone, and the Niners' top 2 cornerbacks are Lenoir and Green, and Travarius Ward is gone, understandable. If the number 3 cornerback is Darrell Luter Jr., I want to see that he's better than Ambry Thomas if he pops up somewhere. Or Samuel Womack, who's a number 3 corner on a solid defense or on a solid team. Like, I think that's got to be, like, if you're getting rid of Ambry, you're telling us that you think Darrell Luter Jr. could absolutely step into that number 3 cornerback role, because I'm not sure who that's going to be next year. Could be Yiadom.
Yeah. Okay, but also with Renardo Green coming in and showing what you can get out of a first-year guy, who's to say they aren't looking towards free agency or the draft?
Certainly.
right? Where it's
Could
like, hey, we can get a second day guy, a third day guy that can come in and absolutely replicate what we saw out of Renardo.
Last example of the Niners not giving up on a cornerback, but Akella was locking down Debo the other day.
Oh, yeah. I saw that
Akella.
too. I saw that. He was hyped too.
Anyway.
Clapping in his face.
I'd be hyped as well. All right, that's enough non-quarterback talk. It was 6 minutes of not talking about quarterbacks. I think we got to give ourselves a round of applause. We did it.